Good morning, YouTube. So with today's video, I'm going to give you 5 great vetiver fragrances that you could rock anytime you want. But some of these fragrances might do a little bit better in the springtime. But this list, I want it to be as unique as possible. However, fragrance 4 and 5 are going to be a little bit more predictable when it comes to my channel. Fragrance number 5 definitely is a lot more predictable as it's just popular, right? But the first one is very underrated and it's not popular. Bentley Wild Vetiver. This is not my bottle, this is actually Rush's bottle. I went to see the guy yesterday. This stuff is really good. It's got loads of bright bergamot, even more verbena, so the verbena really pops. But you're also gonna get loads of vetiver and some birch. It's more verbena and vetiver than anything. This smells of quality, but it's not as well blended as the fragrance it got a lot of comparisons to, and that is Tom Ford Grey Vetiver EDT. Both are great scents. This is a very solid scent as well, but for the price tag, and this is going to range anywhere from $100 to $175 Canadian. It's from their upper line, their luxury line, if you really want to say. But is it really worth 150 bucks? I personally wouldn't say. 80 to 100, yes. And I also gotta add, this is not a 100% representation of Tom Ford. There is some differences. The Tom Ford itself, the lemon, the iced lemon, whatever, it's just lemon in my opinion, makes it a little bit more zestier than this one here. The verbena is what really shines. The iced lemon, the lemon, really shines in the Tom Ford. So there is some differences, but this fragrance here is definitely slept on. It is a hidden gem in my opinion, and longevity is gonna be anywhere from 7 to 9 hours. And this fragrance, I gotta say, is perfect for the office, but it's perfect for a gentleman out there who just wants a vetiver fragrances that just doesn't get a lot of mention, dressing it down to dressing it up. There is like a casual component to this one here, but it does smell like refinement as well. Fragrance number 2, this one just doesn't get any mention at all, and that's going to be John Varvatos XX Artisan. Now this came out in 2020, and when I first smelt it, I really was not feeling it all that much, but as I started to wear a little bit more, I started to appreciate it a little bit more as well. It's not a love for me, but I do enjoy this one. This one here has musk, Szechuan pepper, bitter orange, cedar, but also that vetiver note. This really is cedar, vetiver without question, but also not so much like the Szechuan pepper, the bitter orange, and that musk. The dry down is more of a vetiver, more of a woody, earthy vetiver, musky dry down, and this is a bit of a man's scent. This fragrance, however, also has a little bit more of a clean, fresh type of vetiver, if that makes any sense. And it is a fresher fragrance than some of the other vetiver fragrances out there. It's not as in your face. This vetiver here is very wearable. So if you don't like vetiver fragrances, check this one out. This one might work wonders on your skin. This is a great scent for school, even better for work. It's a daily wear. Longevity off this one here is going to be 7 to 8 hours. Fragrance number 3, unfortunately this one kind of comes and goes. So you're going to have to keep your eye out on some of these online discounters, but right now it's on FragranceNet, but I also believe Fragrance Buy, and that's going to be Quartier Vetiver, Eau de Quartier Vetiver Bleu. This one is a very simple fragrance. It's got mint, licorice, and vetiver. I do get a little bit of the mint, but I get more licorice and vetiver. Licorice is not the most common note in perfumery, but it adds something a little bit more playful to this fragrance. This fragrance here has a little bit of class to it, but it's not as classy as this one. The licorice in this does add a little bit more of a playful touch to that classy side as well. This is a unisex fragrance, so I do think that both genders can wear it, even though that it does dive a little bit more towards the men. Not that much. I would say 55 to 60% at the most, but that licorice component does add that kind of like this sweet, playful, feminine side in some ways. I do think that it's great for work. It's professional enough for the office, and it's a great casual night out fragrance. Longevity off this one here is going to be 6 to 8 hours. And fragrance number 4, I used to plug this brand quite a bit, so it might be a little bit more predictable for this channel, but that's going to be Ferrari's Vetiver Essence. This is a brand that I plugged so much for 3 years. So a lot of people will always associate me as the Ferrari guy. I said that I was the unpaid ambassador from Ferrari. Okay, so what you're gonna get hazelnut coffee. So there is some gourmand feels to this one here. Vetiver, clearly there's black and Szechuan pepper, but there's also a little bit of orris or orris root to add a little bit of a powdery touch. It's not overly powdery, trust me, this is a very masculine fragrance that does have that playful side because of the coffee and the hazelnut. I would think that this might resonate a little bit more with someone who's in their 30s and up. But if you're a university student, you could rock it. If it wasn't for the vetiver, I do think that the coffee and the hazelnut, I might have said almond, but it's hazelnut in this. So the coffee and the hazelnut, I think that just adds a little bit more of a youthful touch that's like playful, right? But the vetiver really does amplify the masculinity and the class of this fragrance. This would go great with a suit and tie, but you could dress it casually, but more of a business casual, like that sense of style. Longevity off this one here is going to be 7 to 9 hours. And fragrance number 5, this one is the most predictable. No, it's not Lalique Encronaut, don't have that one, but this one here, Tom Ford Grey Vetiver EDT. So you either have to have this one or the Lalique in order to really truly have a vetiver list, right? This just has loads of citruses. So that iced lemon, there's grapefruit. I wouldn't be surprised if there's like bergamot to this one here, but there's definitely vetiver, sage, orange blossom, and amber. What I get is that I just get loads of bright citruses, more lemon than anything. I do get that vetiver, and I get some like a bit of a woody nuance. I don't per se get like sage or anything like that, and maybe a little bit of the amber during the dry down. This, I would say, is the best blended fragrance in this entire list, and it does, again, get comparisons. These two fragrances do smell similar. This one is better blended. What makes the two different is that, well, maybe price tag a little bit. What makes these two a little bit different is that this one here has that iced lemon, or just really lemon, but this one has the verbena. I would say that this is the better blended fragrance, and not because of the name itself. It just smells really classy, very formal. You could dress this one down, business casual, sense of style, like polo golf shirt with a nice pair of khakis, like khaki shorts, or even khakis with a nice pair of loafers to a tuxedo. This one is just class, it's refinement. It's very much like the Bentley, okay? I just find that this one is just done better. Again, not because of the name, it just smells a little bit more refined. Longevity off this one here is going to be 7 to 9 hours. And that's it. I just gave you 5 great vetiver fragrances that you could rock anytime you damn well choose to. This one here just has more of a spring, well, really fall and winter in my opinion, but I do think that you can rock it in the colder spring days. But if you want to wear it in the dead heat, by all means, you just got bigger balls than I do. Any reviews that I've done on these fragrances that I've touched upon on all of these, they will all be down in the description box below. If you want to see some of the top 5 fragrances, then I want you to check out this side here. And before you go, please make sure to give me one of these, as I really would appreciate it. I think of time, take care, and I will see you later. Thanks for watching, everyone.